Hey, this is Nick at virtualassistantassistant.com, and I want to take a minute to tell you about my experience with Virtual Staff Finder. So, Virtual Staff Finder is a recruiting company that will find you a Filipino VA for a one-time fee. The company is founded by Chris Ducker, who at least in my mind is kind of the man when it comes to outsourcing to the Philippines. So when my longtime VA told me she was leaving the company, I was eager to test out the waters in the Philippines, given the really massive shift there in the past few years in the virtual assistant marketplace. And Virtual Staff Finder has several glowing reviews on the virtualassistantassistant.com site and tons of other positive testimonials too. So I thought I'd give them a try. And if nothing else, it would be an interesting experiment, right? So one night I paid up and placed my order, which is kind of weird to think about using PayPal to order up a new employee, but such is the world we live in, I guess. So right away I had an email explaining the whole process and asking for my detailed job description. And the staff did a good job of clarifying my needs and trying to figure out the best recruiting approach to find the right person. So here's the thing: VSF specializes in finding VAs in four areas, and those are general, admin, SEO, copywriting, and web development. So if the job you need done doesn't fall neatly into one of those categories, you might it might not be the best fit. You might have some issues. So in my case, I was looking for somebody with excellent English writing skills, and I figured I would just train them to do the rest of the work: pay-per-click, some Excel stuff, and even some customer service. So you can kind of see where this is going. But very quickly, I had a list of my three candidates. They say it could take up to 14 days, but I had that list, I swear, like in 2 days. It was really fast. Each of the candidates had their positives and negatives, which I'm sure is true in every hiring decision, but I was really hoping for one standout, no-brainer VA that I could just instantly hire and be really happy with. But so I asked each for a couple trial tasks and a writing sample, and then I conducted my Skype interviews. And again, none really stood out as the clear winner. In fact, at various point in the process, each of the three took turns as being the front runner. But the wages these women, and they were all women, were asking for were between $450 and $500 a month for full time, which was less than half what I was paying my previous VA. So I figured I could well afford to get started, even though there were no slam dunk candidates, and just kind of go from there. So. And I think partially I'd found myself with an extra 30 hours of work back on my plate that I was eager to offload some of that as well. So we got started on a trial basis, and we did some on-the-job training. And within the first 2 weeks, it had kind of become evident that it just wasn't a good fit. It's hard to pinpoint any one area that was lacking, but we had difficulties in setting a consistent work schedule, in problem solving, in communication, and even in following instructions. It was a really difficult and painful decision. I hate firing people, but ultimately I had to let her go. And for their part, Virtual Staff Finder was really gracious and offered to find some new candidates for me, even though I was kind of pushing the limit on their 14-day satisfaction guarantee. But it took a lot longer. It took much longer than the 2 days the first group of candidates took to find the new applicants. So by the time I got the new list, I'd actually already found an awesome VA on Elance, and she's way more expensive than the Philippines, but I'm happy with the hire. And I actually didn't end up even interviewing anyone from the second Virtual Staff Finder list. So to sum up, my investment in Virtual Staff Finder. I got some valuable experience out of the deal, but no VA. I'm not going to rule out the company or Filipino VAs in general for when the need arises again, but I think I'll definitely be more targeted, more patient, and more selective in my hiring process. And that's Virtual Staff Finder. So sorry for the long video, but thanks for watching to the end.